Hey, good morning, guys. So I saw a bit of a pullback across equity markets with the S&P 500 now at around 3,820 mark, having rebounded roughly 2% overnight and bouncing off the oversold RSI zone. Market is down about 20% since the peak at the beginning of the year, and the rebound overnight was pretty likely caused by the Fed rate hike of 75 basis points, one of the biggest increases in nearly 30 years. Bitcoin now trading close to 22,500 with the 20K support line holding on so far. Despite the negative news across the ecosystem, price action has recovered to pretty much same point as yesterday morning and holding these levels for the past 48 hours. If we zoom out to the weekly chart, we've seen roughly a 70% decline from the peak. And although the major support level has held, it could potentially be only a matter of time before the market starts sliding again. Now, the line here shows the Bitcoin halving in 2024 May. And we're basically 2 years away from that occurring. So if history repeats itself, there's a few scenarios that could potentially happen. And I think that hinges a lot on whether we see the 20K mark holding. And depending on how that holds up over the next few weeks, we could potentially see prices sliding down to 14K area, which was the previous major support zone after the 20K mark. And given that the market tends to pick up about a year into the market, we could see prices steadily uptrending heading into 2024. We've actually, a lot of you have probably seen this chart before. This market psychology. This basically shows the stages of bull and bear markets. And we've likely already been past this bull trap phase. And right now, probably in the fear and capitulation zone. And the question is, what's the mean? Now, if we go back to this weekly chart, take the 200-week moving average as the mean. Very likely, probably close to the capitulation and despair zones. And it's quite possible a slow recovery will happen towards the second half of the year. Very similar story on Ethereum. Major support of 1,000 holding. And despite the wave of negative news that occurred yesterday, prices have recovered to now trading at 1,240. And price action still trading below the 200-week moving average seen on this yellow line. And next major support zones are the 1,000, following that 800. Respectively. Zooming out a little bit more, we actually see the RSI over here at the bottom at pretty much one of the lowest points in Ethereum history. And while it's likely to bounce back sometime, downside momentum is still pretty strong. Fear and greed index now all the way down at 7, on the lowest level seen in pretty much 2 years. Despite all the noise, these extreme fear levels quite likely some of the best times to start accumulating. So that's all for me today.